Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Bienvenidos a mi canal. As you guys can see for the title, we're gonna be doing a Valentine's Day look today. I did some pop-up colors on my eyes because I know some of my girls out there likes those pop-up colors in your eyes, so this one's for you. I'm using this black strapless dress. I thought it looked so beautiful with this eye look because it definitely makes those eyes pop even more. So yeah, make sure you guys grab a snack before we start because it's gonna be a long video but a good one. Before we start though, don't forget to subscribe down to my channel, hit that bell ring button so you guys can get notified every time I post a video for you guys. Okay, I want to see you. Let's start. Alright you guys, so I wanted to bring you guys a little bit closer. You know, we're up in personal here, just to show you guys a little bit more on the eye details that I do, like the whole blending and the cut crease, because we do a cut crease on this eye look. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. For today's look, we're gonna be using the Mikayla palette. This one is from Mikayla in collaboration with Glamlite. And this is how it looks. It is such a beautiful palette. It's actually one of my favorite palettes that I own. So for this eye look right here, we are only going to be using one palette to make it easier for you guys as well. And I know a lot of you guys might have this palette because it was one of the best sellers yet last year. So I really love this palette. First, I'm going to go ahead and be priming my eyes with the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. And I'm just going to be putting this really just all over my eye, grabbing my Camo concealer and just tapping this in. I'm gonna make sure I bring this concealer down here on the inner corner of my eye and also all the way on the outer corner of my eye as well. First eyeshadow I'm going to be using is this one right here, which is called Buffalo Chicken. I thought the name was super cute for that eyeshadow. And I'm going to be using a small blending brush, grabbing a little bit of that eyeshadow and just throwing that excess out. I'm going to start by just tapping this color right here in that outer corner and also bringing it up in the crease and just start blending it in. Grabbing a little bit more and just blending this in. When I first saw this color and I wanted to use it, I thought it was going to be super orange because it did look like an orange color to me, but I was looking more for like a peachy pink color. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to try it because sometimes the colors may look different on your eyelid once you put it on and blend it, then they look on the palette. So I was like, yep, this is definitely the color I was looking for. It's not too orangey, but it's kind of like a pinky peachy color. It's so pretty. I really love this eyeshadow. So you want to make sure you're bringing it down here as well and just blending it in. I'm just blending it in with circular motions, just back and forth circular motions, you guys. I'm also putting some here on the outer part of my eye. So moving on to the next eyeshadow, we are going to be using this one right here, which is called Willow. Let me show you guys how it looks because it is such a pretty color. It's not like too brown, but it's also not super deep purple. I feel like it's a good combination between them two. I love this color. Actually, this is one of the colors that I really love from this palette as well. And then I'm going to be using a pointy blending brush to blend that in my crease. I'm going to grab a little bit and just start blending this in on my crease. I'm going to make sure this stays in my crease. I don't want this color to go all the way up. No, I just want it to stay in that crease just because I want this color kind of to be more of like the center of attention with that pink one that we're going to put on our eyelid. Make sure you're bringing that color right here on your inner eye and then bringing it back. I'm just doing windshield motions and just circular motions to blend this in. I'm also putting some here on the outer part of my eyelid, just on the half of that outer part of my eyelid. We're gonna go back to our first eyeshadow we used, which is the Buffalo Chicken, and I'm gonna be putting a little bit more of that eyeshadow right here on the outer part of that eyeshadow, just because I don't want it to fade away just because we put that darker shade. And I'm kind of bringing it upwards, kind of like a, you know, cat eye. Next, I'm going to be grabbing this fluffy brush and I'm going to just blend that outer part even more. You want to make sure you're bringing that outer part out. Moving on to our third eyeshadow. Like I said, this eye look is very detailed and more of the blending than anything else. So it's super fast if you are good at blending, but if you're not, take your time, don't get overwhelmed, just take your time. Next, I'm gonna go in to my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and I'm gonna be putting some of this Hydrating Camo Concealer on my hand, literally. This is gonna help me cut that crease that I want. Grabbing a flat brush to cut that crease, grabbing a little bit of that concealer, and putting some right here on my eyelid. I'm gonna look up, and basically this is gonna kind of give me an idea where my cut crease is gonna look like. I know it looks super funny, but seriously, it's such a good trick to help you with that cut crease. Once you open it, you can see where you're gonna trace it. Super easy trick. It has helped me a lot when it comes to my cut crease, so if you guys haven't tried it, try it. And then just grabbing little by little, you're gonna start cutting that crease. Don't rush it, you guys. It honestly takes patience to do a cut crease, so just be patient with it. So once you have it, you can tap it down with your finger, or you can grab your sponge. I use the e.l.f. Camo Concealer Sponge just to tap in that concealer just a little bit, not too harsh, you guys. For my next eyeshadow, I'm going to be using this one right here, which is called Simba. And then grabbing a really small flat brush. And I'm just going to start by tapping that color down and just making my way up, all the way up to where that crease is. Little by little, you guys. Take your time. So next, with the same pointy blending brush that I use for that crease, I'm going to be using this just really softly just to blend those two colors, that dark shade right here and that pink one I used, and just blend that in. Okay, once you have that blended in, I am going to grab a little bit more of that willow color, and I'm going to be using this right here on the inner corner just to darken in that outer part of my eye a little bit more. Next, I'm just going to be using a blending brush, has no product on it, and I'm just going to be blending the outer part once again, just to make sure, you know, everything is really blended in. We are done with our eyes. As you guys can see, it's looking gorgeous. So moving on to our face, I'm going to scoot you guys back a little bit. I already did my eyebrows, but I haven't shown you guys the product I use. I have always used these products just because those are the ones that have worked for me. The thing about me, I don't really change products if I know it's working for me, unless I'm like, okay, it's time to change it up. So the first product I use is from e.l.f. It's called Clear Brown in Lash. And the second product I use is from NYX called Lift and Snatch in color black. These are the products I use for the moment. I'm like obsessed with them. And then I went and used my concealer on the bottom of my eyebrows to clean them out, and then on the top to clean them out I use my foundation that I'm going to be using today, which you guys are going to find out in a little bit. So to prime my face, we're actually going to be using one of my favorite products, which is the Wet n Wild Prime Focus Primer Serum. If you guys haven't tried this product, let me tell you guys are missing out. Is one of my favorite. Actually, that was my first prime serum I have ever tried, and I was like, okay, I'm missing out because I need to buy more prime serums. They're amazing. As you guys can see, it leaves my skin like radiant, like glowy. I really love it, especially because I'm more of a dewy type of girl when it comes to my foundations, you know, just a lot on my skin. I love a lot of doing this on it, so I really love this primer, so definitely try it, you guys. For my second primer, I am going to be using the Nyx Marshmallow Primer. This primer is also one of my favorite primers as well. A lot of the products I'm using today in this video, most of them actually are one of my favorite ones that I love and I use daily when I do like a full-on makeup. So just FYI, if you guys hear me say it's one of my favorite products, it's because I'm using a lot of them. Next, we're moving on to NYX Dark Circle Concealer. I'm gonna be using this just to cover those dark circles. I'm also putting some around my lips. If you guys can tell, I do have some darkness around that area, so I want to make sure that gets covered up a little bit too. And then on the side of my nose as well. Next, we're moving on to our foundation. We are going to be using the Rare Beauty foundation. By the way, you guys, I don't think I showed you guys my nails. I actually did them for Valentine's Day specifically because I did like a French tip with like hearts. They're like pink, glitter pink hearts in red. I think they're like so cute. A lot of my nails ideas come from Pinterest, honestly, so that's where I got these ideas. I really loved my nails. I was like, yep, I need to do a Valentine's theme nail. So yeah, if you guys have never used this product before, make sure you guys do shake that product before you guys go in with it, because it is pretty oily, kind of like an oil-based foundation, so you want to make sure you shake it well. The way I use it is I just grab some and just start, you know, kind of like spreading it through my face. This foundation is so good, you guys. I recently purchased like 3 new high-end foundations because I do have a lot of drugstore product foundation, but I was like, okay, it's time for you to splurge a little bit and buy some high-end foundations, because I always end up sticking to my favorite. By the way, I'm using a foundation brush, and it's actually one of my favorite foundation brushes, you guys. Ever since I bought it, I just use it all the time because it's my favorite foundation brush. And it's also, you know, in a good price. I got it with a bundle probably like 3 years ago, I believe. It's like I was saying, I did purchase 3 new high-end foundations. Sephora was having a sale on foundations a few months ago, and I was like, okay, I think it's time to splurge a little bit because I needed more, you know, foundations that are high-end products. I really don't purchase a lot of foundations on high ends. I find good foundations in the drugstores, so that's why I was like, should I really buy? But you guys, high-end foundations are amazing too, just like drugstore products are too, but there's just some foundations that you just can't find in the drugstore products. So this is definitely one of my favorite foundations, besides the Anastasia Beverly Hills one that will always be my go-to as well. I'm gonna go in with my Hydrating Camo Concealer. Using my e.l.f. Hydrating Concealer, and I'm just going to be tapping in that concealer wherever I put it at. I'm making sure I'm putting that concealer right here, kind of on the side of my nose as well, just to blend that in there as well. Just be very careful when you're blending that concealer in, you guys. So moving on, we're going to be using our Airspun translucent powder to set those under eyes and my T-zone area as well, where I use all that concealer. Going back in with my e.l.f. sponge, and I'm just making sure there's no harsh lines before I go in and set those under eyes. So grabbing some Airspun translucent powder, and I'm just going to set those under eyes. Just tapping this in on my T-zone area as well. We're gonna be using the Luis Torres Beauty Face Palette collaboration with Beauty Creations. I'm gonna be using this contour right here, grabbing a little bit of that because it is very pigmented, and just tapping it in on the side of my cheeks right here. So I'm going to be using this blush that comes with the face palette as well. Putting this on the side of my cheeks. I'm not putting the blush on the apple side of my cheeks like I normally do. Make sure you're bringing the blush towards your temple and a little bit more up to your forehead as well. For my second blush, I'm going to be using the Soul Shine Cheek Palette from NARS. You guys are gonna have to excuse me because I broke this palette, so it's a little shattered, but I'm gonna be using these two colors right here. I'm grabbing a big fluffy brush and I'm gonna be mixing all that we just mixed in. That contour, those blushes, just to, you know, melt it in together even more. I'm going to go back to the Luis Torres face palette, and I'm going to be using the contour again just to contour the side of my nose. I'm going to go back to my Airspun translucent powder, and I'm just going to be using this to set my full face. Grab a little bit of that, take the excess out, and just tap it in all over my face. Next, I'm going to be using the Morphe Bacon setting powder in Banana. Grabbing my beauty blender, and as you guys can see, I dipped in the powder already. I'm going to be using this to clean that contour right here, kind of make it more snatched. So just using it on the side right here. Grabbing some for my nose. We wait for that to bake, we are going to be going back into our Luis Torres Beauty face palette, and we're going to be using this pink highlighter right here. I love this highlighter, guys. I'm obsessed with it, and I feel like it goes super well with this look because, you know, as you guys can see, it's a Valentine's Day look. Moving on to our lashes, we're gonna be using these eyelashes for this look. These ones are from Kiss. They're the So Real lashes.
5 minutes later.
As you guys can see, I went and put on my lashes. These are one of my favorite lashes, so I want to go back in and smoke it out underneath my lower lashes, but it's definitely optional. You guys can leave it as it is if you guys like it, but I'm gonna go ahead and just smoke my lower lashes. So we're gonna go back into the Mikayla palette, and we're gonna be using this eyeshadow right here, which is called Willow. And I'm just gonna be smoking the lower lash just a little bit, not a lot, you guys. I'm grabbing a flat brush right now just to press that eyeshadow that I want to smoke out. Just grabbing a blending brush, and I'm just blending that eyeshadow to smoke it out. So next, I'm just gonna remove this powder that we have here, then in my nose. So moving on to our lips, we're gonna be using this combination right here. It's more like a brown neutral combination, just because I already have a lot of colors going on my eyes. I want to keep it more neutral brown in my lips. So it's totally up to you guys if you guys want to switch your lip color. If you guys want something more bold, then go for it, but I want something more neutral, so I'm going to be using this combination right here. So for my lip liner, I'm going to be using the NYX lip liner in Nutmeg. So I'm going to be using this lipstick from Huda Beauty in Staycation. It's a matte lipstick. Last but not least, we are going to be using a setting spray. I'm going to be using the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray, and I'm just going to be thinning it out. Alright guys, so this is the final look right here. By the way, I don't think I told you guys, I kind of got inspired with my hair from Kim Kardashian's kind of like wet style hair that she wore from the Met Gala, if I'm not mistaken. I will post it right here if I can find the picture, but it's literally where I got my hair inspiration for today's video. I feel like I kind of achieved it. I'm not sure, you guys let me know if I did or didn't, but I feel like it will look so pretty with this strapless black dress, and this, you know, makeup will look so pretty with it. But I hope you guys enjoy your Valentine's Day with your girls, with your boo, whoever you guys are gonna spend it with. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye guys.